Every empire says the same thing. Our money is safe, our system will last forever. And every single time, they're wrong. From Rome to France, from the Confederacy to modern Lebanon, an entire people woke up one morning to find that their savings were worthless and their futures stolen. Collapse isn't the exception, it's the rule. It's the only question that counts. When it happens again, will you be ready? We look at our bank balances, at our currencies, at our governments, and we think they're solid, permanent. But money isn't stone, it's trust, and trust can vanish in an instant. That is what makes history so brutal and so useful. For behind every collapse lies a trail of warnings about what survives and what evaporates into dust. And the survivors? They were not the ones who trusted the most. They were the first to doubt. Take the Byzantine Empire, the eastern half of Rome, which somehow lasted 1,000 years longer than the West. At its heart lay a coin, the solidus, pure gold, trusted across 3 continents. It was accepted by merchants without question. It was the dollar of the medieval world. But power is always a temptation to rulers to cheat. The Byzantines began shaving their gold, mixing in cheaper metals. At first, no one noticed. Then trust cracked, and the coin that held an empire together became just another lie. When the solidus collapsed, so did the economy. Who remained? Those holding on to real gold or land, not paper promises. Lesson 1. Every government eventually dilutes its money. When it does, value flees to whatever they can't print. Then came the 14th century and the Black Death. Half of Europe gone in only a few years, cities emptied, trade collapsed. And yet for the survivors, something strange happened. Labor became scarce and valuable. Wages rose, land and goods became cheap. Those with liquidity, silver, food, even just skills, suddenly had leverage they'd never had before. Sound familiar? During COVID, we have seen the same story where supply chains break, governments print trillions, and inequality explodes. Those who had cash purchased assets. Everyone else got left behind. Lesson 2. Every shock redistributes wealth. Crises do not make everyone poor, they make the unprepared poor. In the 1340s, Florence was Europe's financial heart, the Wall Street of its day. The Bardi and Peruzzi banks financed kings. Next, King Edward III of England defaulted on his loans. In weeks, the mighty banks of Florence collapsed. Depositors were ruined, trade frozen. Lesson 3. Too big to fail is a fairy tale which has been killing savers for 700 years. Institutions serve themselves, not you. When they fall, they take your money with them. Now fast forward to America in the 1860s. The Union printed greenbacks. The Confederacy printed graybacks. Both promised value backed by the nation itself. Both turned into confetti. By the war's end, Confederate inflation reached into the thousands of %. Soldiers were paid in paper that couldn't buy a loaf of bread. Lesson 4. When countries print survival money, they always destroy the saver. Gold, land, and food outlive politics. 1790s France. The revolution rips the monarchy from its pedestal. New government, new currency. The assignats, backed by confiscated church lands. First, patriotic pride, then overprinting, inflation, collapse. Farmers refused paper, demanded silver or goods. In the end, the revolution devoured itself. Lesson 5. Even noble promises turn toxic when trust breaks. When money dies, only tangible value survives. 1997, Thailand. Borrowed billions of dollars betting the peg would hold. It didn't. The baht collapsed, and a regional chain reaction hit Indonesia, Malaysia, South Korea. The people who lost everything were not those hedge funds that started the panic. It was the citizens whose savings and salaries evaporated. Those holding foreign currency or assets abroad walked away unscathed. Lesson 6. Debt in someone else's money is a time bomb. When trust breaks, it's always the debtor who drowns. And if you think collapse is ancient history, look at Lebanon. Between 2019 and 2021, the bank simply closed. People's accounts were frozen. The Lebanese pound lost 90% of its value. Doctors and teachers, engineers are wiped out overnight. Their mistake? They thought their deposits were safe. Money in the bank isn't a vault, it's a loan to the bank. And in crisis, the bank decides whether you get it back. Lesson number 7 is that access is an illusion. If you can't touch it, you don't own it. Different centuries, different continents, same story. Paper dies, debt chains, institutions fail. And of those who survive, they're not the ones with the most faith, but they're the ones who see the cracks first. In Byzantium, it was gold. After the Black Death, it was liquidity. Distrust of bankers in Florence. In the Confederacy, food and land. In France, property in Asia, avoidance of foreign debt. Getting out before the doors locked in Lebanon. Collapse is not a bug in the system. It is the system. It's how the wealth transfers from the many who trust to the few who prepare. Every crisis is both destruction and an opportunity. Those with cash, assets, or skills that can't be printed buy when others are forced to sell. That's how, after the plague, peasants became landowners. That's how investors got rich after 2008. Real protection is not about hoarding paper. It's about owning what's real and knowing how to rebuild when others freeze. So don't ask whether the system will fall apart. It will. It always does. The question is, when it does, will you be holding promises or value? If this changed the way you see money, subscribe. History does not repeat itself. It warns. And the ones who listen survive.